Well, you've been following along on the adventure here of working on this Prevost. It's absolutely crazy. The first shocking discovery was those really, really bad wheel bearings that I can't believe they hadn't completely come apart and just seized up the hub. He reported a vibration at 70 miles an hour, so we can kind of see what's going on there. And then like the front brake drum with these huge cracks in it. The heat checking is so excessive that we can stick a screwdriver down inside of it. That's too big. That has to be replaced. So those are completely shot. And then we got to that rear axle and found that the tag axle, the repair that somebody had done, where the bearing doesn't even fit on there. They apparently had a bearing failure. You can see where they cut it off, and then they used a welder to weld everything on the spindle, and then they just took a grinder by hand and ground everything down to try to get it to fit, but the bearing doesn't even fit. It's super loose on there, so that thing was just wobbling around on there. The brakes were worn uneven, so we're going to replace this whole spindle. So we're going to try and get this taken out today, but you can see how terrible of a job they did. The threads are missing. It's super, super sketchy. I can't believe somebody did that and let it go. Let's also not forget, right at the end of the day, there was this huge spider on the bus that ran up in the wheel well, and the next morning we got to go back in that wheel well and work on the bus. Armed with a can of brake clean. There are spider webs there. He was a big mother, and you don't see him, huh? Maybe look around on the other side. You said you don't see him, right?
No.
All right, that was us trying to look for the spider. We couldn't find him. But one thing to mention, Tyler is looking to sell his Silversides bus. It's located in the Indianapolis area. He's looking for $10,000, and it's got like 4 Battleborn batteries in it. Starts right away, runs and drives. He drove it like 400 something miles back to Indianapolis about a year ago, so it's definitely ready for the road. But I'll put his email information in a pinned post. I'm gonna make sure what email address he wants me to use. I'll probably post that tomorrow. But if you're interested in it, get a hold of him, and it's a good bus. So the spindle, that like even the threads are all janked in. It presses in there, and there's a nut on the back side. Is that it there?
Mm-hmm.
And then you gotta ratchet. By ratcheting 15/16, and you're able to break it loose. You sprayed it with Croil first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that nuts off? Is there a washer there too?
Yeah. Well, that keeps you going down the road.
That's all that holds that on. Yeah, you're not. try pulling it out, Jonathan. Now we got to figure out if we can get a slide hammer or something that we can rig onto there and try and pull it out. These tight reaches are awesome when you can't get an impact in on something. So you got enough room to get a socket on it, and you can just run this thing over and then stick your impact to it. It really works great. Yeah, just lift up on that brake shoe and take that brake spring off.
Hell, put some grease in them things. I don't think these brakes have been used in a long time. That's crazy.
Is the top one fly out of the way?
You know, pulling that off would have made getting that bolt off probably easier.
That one moves at least.
That's crazy. Maybe not.
So a socket won't fit on it. There's no clearance there. Maybe a non-impact socket because we're all skinny. What size is it? 1.5".
Yeah.
Just like a dust shield.
Yeah, I think that's what I bent out of the way to get to it. It's just stinky.
That should come right off now.
Oh. Filthy. That's where all that oil went.
Yeah. Is it rolling out the aluminum?
Huh?
I didn't know if the aluminum was like rolling out.
Might end up doing that.
Don't put your safety glasses on.
That'd be the first thing to break.
Yeah? Just a minute.
Does that make a noise?
No?
Aluminum is
It's
pushing in the middle.
Yeah. Get the impact. Got my glasses on. He's got his safety glasses on. I'd go kind of slow with it just to keep an eye on what's happening. This is either going to work or spectacularly fail. It's still turning, right?
Yeah. Keep going.
Let's do like one more revolution. Let's take it off and see if we've done it. Nothing?
No.
I didn't think so. Safety glasses going right on.
Ew. Falling apart.
Okay, hang on. I don't like the way that puller is looking.
Back it off.
Yeah. That's good. And then we'll heat up the middle again.
Stay away from the pin.
Yeah. Let's try to pull her now.
Can you do the bottom of it?
I think it's gonna be expanded enough. Just be careful, the puller might be weak. It moved. Don't let it fall on your lap.
It's off of there.
Okay, that's good.
Fires.
Yeah, just let's take it with pliers.
Say it's hot.
Well, we broke our homemade puller. I got plenty more of those where that came from, so I can make another one. But yeah, we'll go for a little better plate on the front of it, something that holds it better than those 2 aluminum blocks. I was just trying what I had and see what would happen, but we'll go at it a little different next time. Okay, well, in order to get this out, we've already pulled the bolt that comes in from the backside. We've taken that out. It's just press fit, but it is really in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build up around this here, little container, and we're gonna let it soak in liquid nitrogen next week. And that should shrink it enough, make it super cold, shrink it and get to come out. And then also we'll have the liquid nitrogen to put the new one in. This part, this whole spindle is available. It was under $500, so that was the way to go. If we had the axle doctor come out, travel fees and everything, it would have been a lot more than that. And since the threads were messed up on there and everything too, let's just be done with it. Swap the new one in. We tried our puller. I can make another puller like that. I got a bunch of liners sitting around here. I thought that was gonna work, but it's just so tightly in there. So once the puller will probably work once we soak it in liquid nitrogen, shrink it up, should come right out. Super cheap, liquid nitrogen to fill the container. We have, I think it's 11 liters in the container. It's only like 30 bucks, so it's not super expensive, but we'll be able to submerge that and get it to come out. There's no way we can take it to a press because this is all a solid piece. This whole axle goes all the way over the other side. If I had to, I could weld a big plate on there and maybe put the hydraulic jacks between here and here, our porta power on the other side. But let's make it super cold first, shrink it, and hopefully it'll come right out.